This would not be possible, but I see that it has some sort of waterfall in it. And I would like to give the designer of this the benefit of the doubt. And this is actually just a glorified water tower. I think this is a water purifier. And it's right next to the outhouse. Excellent. That is quality civil engineering, putting your water right next to the sewer. What a cozy little home. Oh, that's me working from home right there. Hi, welcome back to Experts React. My name is Christine Rice, and I am a licensed professional civil engineer in the state of California. And today we're going to check out Fallout 4. Let's get into it. All right. Oh, I see we're next to some water. Nice little water-based settlement. So one of the first things I notice is that there's rust on everything, the metal roofs, the metal panels. And rust and corrosion in general is definitely a big thing that civil engineers have to design for or design around. Corrosion's a natural process. Metal actually deteriorates when it's exposed to certain environments. And one of the biggest things you can do is try and prevent corrosion. So that's a huge thing that civil engineers do. You can prevent corrosion by using coating systems like paint, just provide a protective layer between the environment and the metal. And one of the key things to making structures last long is maintenance, because that coating is not going to last forever. One of the reasons why you might use concrete instead of steel is because concrete lasts longer. You don't have to coat it. It's not going to corrode, but it's a lot more expensive. So steel might be cheaper, but you have to maintain it and recoat it every, 15, 20 years. All right, going up here, little structure, little house. Oh, I like this right here. You got like a little guard tower, some friendly dudes with guns. You gotta set up your defenses. What's interesting about this is defense is actually a very real world application in civil engineering. Theft is a huge problem at construction sites. And construction sites will lose thousands of dollars a day just from people breaking in at night. And so as a civil engineer, I will actually write into the specs requirements for security and defenses, either a security guard or security cameras, and at the minimum, security fencing. So the idea of having a defense system is very real world applicable. Oh, I see they built their own sort of patch in the concrete there. Looks all right. What a cozy little home. Oh, that's me working from home right there. One thing I'm noticing is just the overall layout of the site. That's something that I do a lot as a civil engineer, is actually placing where certain buildings are going to be. And you really want to have like paths of travel. If you have any like certain types of vehicles that you need, they're able to make these turns, they're able to turn around and get through. If you have pedestrians, they're able to walk through safely. Yeah, if I had to live here, I feel like the biggest thing I would do is cover up all those holes in the wall. I think it's Boston, right? And I assume Boston can get pretty cold. I think it snows there sometimes. And if I'm living here, I don't want to get stuck in the cold and the snow. It looks fine, nice day right here, but just shelter-wise, you would want to cover up those holes. So that's the biggest thing I would change. I like the posters on the wall. It just said waffles. I want that. Where are they getting that? Like, where around here did they scrap a waffle sign? Oh, I see why it's called Hangman's Alley. Don't know if I'd want to live there. I guess that scares away any intruders. So one of the things I noticed is there was a teddy bear on that bed, and that makes me think that a little kid lives there. And I see that there's no safety railing whatsoever behind that little teddy bear. And maybe there's no kids in this world, and some grown man just wants to, have a little cuddle buddy. When it comes to engineering ethics, the #1 rule is you have to hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. And so not having a safety rail there, that's a big no-no. Ooh, that corner too, just walking around, someone's gonna hit their head on that. So you want to avoid that, or at least flag it somehow. These people survived a nuclear fallout It would suck if they just bumped their head on something and died. I think it's interesting that none of these beds have any bedding. I like to think that I'm the type of person that cannot sleep without a blanket, unless they're hiding them somewhere. Keeping them dry probably because of all the holes in the wall. What's this, a generator? Those are important. I'm not an electrical engineer, but I definitely, as a civil engineer, have to know a little bit about electrical systems. Having a basic understanding of that is really important. Oh, indoor little fire. Don't know how safe that is. I think they have like workshops set up for this, and you could build different structures with different materials that you've scrapped. And I think putting some more limitations on that are more realistic would actually be pretty fun. It's not like baking something where you just get the ingredients. It's civil engineering is usually, here are the ingredients, they're not what you're supposed to have, but what can you make with it? Ooh, train tracks. All right, I see that some of it is covered up, so clearly the train is not in action anymore. It's good that this train is not in operation anymore, because building structures that close to a train track, you wouldn't want to do that. But I like this location. I feel like if I were to have a settlement that I want people to come to, just follow the train tracks. I feel like that's every civil engineer's nightmare, is a collapsed highway. That's what makes the news. And it happens. It's not just, you know, this post-apocalyptic scenario. I'm not really sure what those little mats are on the ground. They remind me of like the little mats that you put down for like exercise equipment. Or is that metal? I can't tell. Got the little clinic. See, they got some medical supplies. That's good. I think this is a water purifier. And it's right next to the outhouse. Excellent. That is quality civil engineering, putting your water right next to the sewer. At least I don't see any wells nearby. I feel like that's what you want to avoid, is doing any groundwater contamination. But I think it's so fascinating in this game that you actually have to get water and you have to purify it, make sure it's clean. Clean drinking water is one of the biggest things that civil engineers do. That is my bread and butter and what I specialize in. And you can't just boil water and get rid of radiation. Like, that's not going to work. You have to have some sort of reverse osmosis or ion exchange system, because boiling water is just going to kill bacteria. It's not going to not grow extra limbs. Oh, there's a little well. I saw it far away from the outhouse. Perfect. Having wells close together can be very convenient, but in real world engineering, you have to really pay attention to the spacing of wells, because if you put them too close together, it actually can interfere with each other, because as you're pumping the water, it's actually drawing down the groundwater level. And if you have two of them right next to each other, you're going to need more energy because the groundwater level is already low. So it affects the efficiencies of the well. So you really want to make sure that they're spaced far enough apart that they're not going to affect each other. The insane fallout skyscraper. All right. Okay. So probably not possible. That looks like some sort of the base to like a bridge, or like a highway bridge. This would not be possible, but I see that it has some sort of waterfall in it, and I would like to give the designer of this the benefit of the doubt, and this is actually just a glorified water tower. But yeah, that would not be possible to maintain unless you can, I don't know, stop wind from happening. First of all, I don't think that it could hold the weight of it, but then also just any sort of wind forces or seismic forces are gonna knock that down. And all of that water, just to pump the water up there that high would take so much energy. And then to have a waterfall with it, it's beautiful though. Look at those views. Got a nice classic swing gate, big one, which is great. Probably got a big one like this to pull in equipment or vehicles. But then you got street lights right in the middle of the road, so don't know why they actually need a giant gate to open if they're going to block the road. If I were to redesign this, I would put the lights on the sides of the road so that you have a clear path. But I think they're going for a specific aesthetic and trying to recreate London Bridge. The interior of this place though looks so nice compared to the other places we've seen. I think that's made out of concrete or stone. It's gonna be comfortable and keep you dry, which I think is important. Of course, we got the security, that's very important. The beds look really nice too. They got some blankets on them. I can actually sleep. Well, this is a cute little kitchen. It's nice. I like that they have the little people walking around or sitting at the table, and it feels very lived in. Well, it looks like this person changed the ground from basically, I'm guessing, kind of dirt, but it's got some cracks in it. There's that water, maybe weeds growing through it. And I like the houses built on the side. I really like the looks of these houses. Comfy little couch. These look so cozy. Like if I had to stay at a settlement from what we've seen so far, it'd be this one. Also the views out of all the windows. All of them got waterfront property. Oh, I like that deck out there. It looks like that's the workshop. It's an interesting location for a workshop. Not really sure how he gets down there to do that. Oh yeah, that does have a very London Bridge feel to it with the buildings on the bridge like that. Yeah, look at that. It looks just like it. I like that. Detail-wise, probably not structurally sound. I see a lot of stuff kind of sticking down for aesthetic purposes but aren't really actually providing any structural support. I think taking a look at old buildings, old bridges, and learning from them is one of the most important things we can do as engineers. We want to learn from our mistakes and we want to build on the things that were good. The bar, that's where I'd be hanging out. You could build houses on a bridge. They used to do that all the time. I don't know about all the time, but that's definitely something that's happened in the past, and I think there are still bridges that have houses on them today. You'd probably have to do a lot of maintenance to maintain it, probably cost a lot, but also a bridge is to get from point A to point B. You're going to have a lot of traffic through that, and do you want to have a house on there? I feel like that's the biggest issue, is why would you have a house on a bridge? Well, overall, I actually really loved this game and how everything was laid out. And from a civil engineering standpoint, I think it's interesting because civil engineering today, you know, it's not about necessarily the best design. It's does it meet standards, city standards, county standards, federal standards, you know, building codes. But in a world like this, where you have a huge catastrophic event, civil engineering is also important. You've got to work with what you have, and it might not be the best design, but is it going to not fall over in the immediate future? There's actually like a whole disaster response program within civil engineering where in the aftermath of a disaster, could be war, it could be a hurricane, it could be an earthquake. You know, people have to move back into their homes and they might not be in the best condition. That is realistic, and I feel like this is what this world depicts. Graphically, it looks beautiful. I really want to play it, so I'm just gonna see you guys later. I'm gonna go play now. Okay. For more Experts React, check out Gamology's Facebook and YouTube pages. And for more of me, check me out on Instagram at XXINE. See you next time.